What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. So today is Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't expect actually a lot of people to start tuning in live, but I wanted to make sure that I still quickly cover some of these stocks that I'm going to be looking at for this upcoming week. So for those that don't know who it is that I am, my name is Ricky. We have over 100K subscribers within our YouTube channel. I have a little bit or nearly 80,000 members within my free networking platform. So for those that like to surround themselves with like-minded individuals and you kind of like surrounding yourself with people that are going to motivate you, then I'd encourage you to even just look into it. So click the link where it says free group. It's a free Facebook group. Then we have a free private group chat. Not only do we cover topics about investing in the stock market, but different markets that we all invest in, such as cryptocurrency, real estate, the buying and reselling, online sales, everything there is that you think that, you can do behind a computer, or that's some type of entrepreneurship type of venture, then we're kind of your people. So we'd love to be a part of your success. I want to thank you guys all for your time. I'm going to try to make this pretty time efficient. I'm going to quickly cover some of the stocks that I've been looking at for this week, the patterns. I really want you guys to focus on more on the patterns that I'm looking at and less of the actual stocks. I hope that my breakdowns and the way that I, kind of manage my risk, the patterns that I look for, and how I try to focus on stocks or ETFs that are actively trending up, I hope that that can really guide you guys in the right direction. So we actually do have quite a bit of people tuning in. I'm actually kind of surprised. Again, today's Super Bowl Sunday, so for those that are within the United States, that's a pretty big kind of like, not holiday, but we have quite a bit of people that definitely do celebrate that. So I totally understand why a lot of you guys can't tune in, but I really do appreciate all of you guys taking time out of your day and joining us. So Eagles will win, says Iron Entertainment. I don't know. Well, based on probability and statistics, I would say that the Patriots have a better chance of winning due to their track record. So, but I don't know much about football. So let's go ahead and start breaking down these stocks. I hope that you guys enjoy, and then I'll at the end of the Sunday stock talk, I'll go ahead and answer some of your guys' questions. So money over football, I like that, David. So let me make this a little bit smaller. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and then I do have my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform already pulled up. So for those that don't know what this platform is, this is my. I've made numerous videos about my setup and stuff like that. You guys can simply YouTube it if you guys don't know what this is or how to gain access to it. Let me go ahead and go over to charts. And let's go ahead and start breaking some stocks and ETFs down. So one of the things that really led to our success last week is I was able to make a little bit over $1,600 last week, and all I really was trading, both swing trading and day trading, were ETFs. We were really focusing on the pattern, and let me talk to you really quickly about some of the ETFs that I was trading. We call out the reversal, so they bounced when JDST was able to confirm the support at $45. It started to trend up. I waited for the break above $50, and then that's when I really started to take action. I started showing signs of a bull flag pattern. So for those that don't know necessarily what I meant by that, was there was a resistance at $55, and the EMA line continued to point up, so it was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. And I noticed that intraday, so all within in the day, not swing trading, so not within a number of days, but intraday, it would have a resistance at around $55 and a support at around 50, and it was showing signs of this kind of like again, bull flag pattern. Like it continues to validate that resistance, it continues to bounce and show signs of an ascending uptrend, and I was able to scalp this, and I did this for a one-day swing trade. I covered my profits at a little bit below $55 if I'm not mistaken. If you guys tuned in for Friday's live stream, you guys saw when I covered my profits there live, and it ended up breaking above $55. Dow Jones pulled back exponentially, which caused obviously a huge increase for these gold-based ETFs to push up, and it started doing very well. So it's going exactly like planned. So when people were asking me, hey, where's the next resistance after $55? Obviously, that's going to be around $60. Why is it going to be around $60? Well, based off of previous patterns, old support levels become new resistance levels. And if you see the previous support at around $60, it would make sense on why this would be a resistance. It's acted as a resistance before, so just note that, right? So what is it that I'm waiting for now? I'm either waiting for, so one of two things. A pullback, I want the EMA line to still be pointing up, and then for there to be a pullback, a bounce on the EMA, and then I can scalp it back up and sell at $60. Or I'm going to, if it continues to trend up, I can set my alert here at $60, and once it breaks above that resistance level and it pulls back and it validates it as a support, again, old resistance levels can become new support levels once they are broken and validated. So we want to see this thing either push up, pull back, and then bounce here at $60, and then for it to continue the pattern that it's had prior, where it bounces here at 60 and then it starts to continue to trend up. So either I'm waiting for a pullback again on the EMA line, and then I can scalp it from there once I validate the bounce. Again, the EMA line, I still want it to be pointing up on the 180-day chart, or I want it to break above the $60 resistance. Once it breaks above that, I want there to be some form of consolidation or validation for support at 60 and not just actually pulling back. So for there to be some form of consolidation that it's struggling to break below 60, and then for it to again trend above the EMA and then start pushing back up. So that's my plan for JDST. It's a very similar pattern for DUST as they show the same pattern. So this thing has a resistance at $24. So that's something that you want to take into consideration. Again, it's either waiting for a break and then validating that support at 24, or a pullback and a bounce off the EMA as it continues this uptrend pattern. So obviously still a lot of margin left, but we have to take into consideration the resistance levels that they're going to have along the way. So I just wanted to make sure that that was made very clear. Now for DGAS, very quickly, I'm going to cover, we had an amazing week, right? We had so many of our traders, especially within our free group and our private group altogether, do exceptionally well. A lot of people were able to get in sub $20. So if you guys take that into considerations, our average was around $19.50. So if we can do anything from that and the resistance that it had at $25, it's a 30% growth, or 30% growth within a 1 week period. So again, it's all about quality and not quantity. So if you can focus on overall, just focusing on stocks that are continuously showing signs of an uptrend pattern, then you can do exceptionally well. Now again, old support level was around $24 to $25. We could see that there's some form of resistance. We could see a double top forming at $25. So this is showing a very similar pattern to what JDST was showing. So remember JDST, we could revisit this, the double top that it had at around $55. So it was consolidating here, but it was still showing signs of an uptrend pattern, somewhat of a bull flag pattern. Same thing is happening here. There's a lot of consolidation at $25. It hasn't broken above it, but it's also not trending down. It's still trending above the EMA line, with the EMA line still pointing up. MACD indicators indicating a potential sign of a sell signal. So if it starts to actually trend down and break below the EMA, then we get that confirmation that DGAS is going to pull back, and then we can focus our attention on its inverse ETF, which is going to be UGAS. So again, now this thing is showing signs of a potential support, but again, it's about waiting for the confirmation. So we either wait for UGAS to break below 70, and then we can move our attention over to DGAS, which then from 70, this one from 25, it can continue trending up to 30, or we can wait for a pullback, try to scalp it from the EMA line on the 180-day chart. So I also wanted to quickly cover one of the stocks that we've been covering for the past 2 weeks, and that's GRXXF. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, here we go. So one of the things that I really like about the pattern on this one is that it's definitely a lower cap stock. So for those that have a little bit of a smaller account, this can work exceptionally well for a lot of people within that price range. And it's a very simple pattern. This is all I see here. So if we do, let's even do a 90-day 1 hour. Okay, so it's been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. It hasn't broken its pattern, and one of the things that I really like about this one is that, man, I need to get a better charting, and the EMA line has to be a little bit different, but overall, it's been showing signs of a continuous uptrend. So understanding that, one of the things that we haven't seen yet is a break of pattern. It's been pulling back, but it's been doing a very good job holding above this EMA line. So with this thing showing signs of an ascending uptrend, again, it's just keeping a close eye on the EMA line. If it starts to show signs of a reversal, then obviously that's not going to be something that you want to invest in. But if you see this thing to continue to make new highs, you can simply set your alerts at $85, or when it pulls back to the EMA line, if you think that that's a good buy and being able to scalp it up, you have to take that into consideration. It's an 80-cent stock, so we called this one out when it was at 68 cents about 2 weeks ago. So since the call out, or since not even the call out, because we don't tell people where to buy or sell, since it was brought to my attention by one of our traders, one of the things that I did notice is that it's covered 22% growth within the past 2 weeks. So that's exceptional growth. We just want to make sure that the pattern continues. So it's showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern. It's continuing to hold above the EMA line. The EMA line is catching up with it. So if the pattern continues and it continues to make new highs, then great. But if this thing starts to pull back, then obviously there's going to be a break of pattern, and then we're not going to see that same type of potential. So just wanted to bring this back up to your attention and see what you guys make of it. So ESRT. The heck did I just say? There is one thing that I wanted to cover very quickly, and it's this website. So I don't have it linked down below right now, but one of the things that I did want to give you guys access to is because a lot of our traders are doing very well with ETFs, and I want to make sure that I provide you the free tools and resources that have assisted me in my success, and I hope that you guys can do your own due diligence in finding these ETFs and then sharing it with our group. That's the whole point of networking, right? That's the whole point that we have this free group, is to teach each other quality information, and then we each do our own due diligence, and then we share that information once we find it. So again, we never tell people where to buy or sell. It's all about sharing information that we see value in. So one of the things that I think has been helping us out very well, especially for the call out for like DGAS. So how did I know that DGAS was going to start showing signs of a reversal? Well, one of the things that I looked into is, you never know 100%, but I looked at the patterns for natural gas. So this is for natural gas futures. I saw that it was still trending below the 180-day EMA. You know, it was showing signs of a resistance, and it's still showing signs of a downward pattern. So no signs of a full confirmation that this thing's going to start trending back up. Now, I used these futures to support the ETFs that I was trading. So I wanted to give you guys access to, you guys can simply Google, common future markets or, future ticker symbols, or, I'll just plug this link down in the description. It's one that I've used before, and it gives you a very simple breakdown of different, futures, and how, why could this be useful? Well, let's say you wanted to invest in potentially a silver ETF. So a silver ETF would be something like DSLV. Where is it at? So right here. So DSLV, showing signs of an uptrend pattern, right? So let's go to the Flex grid right here. So we're going to go to DSLV, and it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern with the potential resistance at $26. Now, if I want to look at the futures for silver, I can go to /SI. So, /SI. There we go. /SI, and we could see that this is actually the inverse of it. So this is almost a mirrored image. So you see how these patterns are so similar. So we can see that this thing has had a previous support at around like 1650, and then a resistance 1750. That's almost a mirrored image. So we can look at the inverse ETF of DSLV, which is USLV. I believe we've talked about that one before, and that one shows a very similar pattern to /SI, which are silver-based futures. So again, these are all things that you guys can do your own research on. I just wanted to expose you guys on how I can use the futures and the patterns that I see here, and be able to leverage that and use that as support, or a better indication and understanding of these ETFs that I'm actively investing in, to get a better understanding of, hey, is this a good buy or is this a good sell? So right now, based off this previous pattern, USLV and the silver ETFs or silver futures are still showing signs of a downtrend. They are showing signs of a potential reversal based off of this pattern being an old support here, where we're seeing the futures at, but there is no sign of a reversal. And I do want to let you guys know that futures are open a little bit longer than the stock market is. So one of the things that I can leverage is when it comes down to being able to want to get a better understanding of how the markets are going to open during pre-market hours, then I can look at the futures to see how that's going to correlate over to the ETFs. So I hope that makes sense, and if not, then you guys can comment down below for me to make elaborate a little bit more on this. And for all those that are part of the Learn Plan Profit Lesson Library, that's the first link in the description. So that's the private group that I work with and I speak to on a daily basis. It's like my course group. I'm going to make a specific series solely for ETFs, so something similar like I did for the swing trading section. But I'm going to be making it solely for ETFs, just because so many of our traders have been doing very well within the Learn Plan Profit group, solely trading ETFs. And I want to make sure that I provide you guys all the tools and resources that I use in a structured format that's very effective and time efficient, so you guys know how to capitalize it, at least based off of my experience. So I wanted to just quickly talk about the ones that I saw value in. There was one other ticker, and that's ticker symbol Ford. The reason that I'm bringing this one up is not because it's a good buy right now, but it's because it's approaching its support. I brought this one up last weekend during our Sunday stock talk. There was no question that this stock, Ford, multi-billion-dollar company, is way on the oversold side. So you can see how low the RSI indicator is. We could see that there's no true pattern or reversal confirmation just yet. So this thing's still actively trending down. So why would you want to buy now? Now we can go based off of previous patterns and see that the old support was around $10.50, and we could think that there might be a bounce here, but there's no confirmation. So what can we do is I can set an alert here at 1050. So if it goes below 1050, then I will get alerted. But now that it's getting so close to that support, this is where really the money can be made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert when Ford goes above $11, because I don't care too much on how low it goes. I care when Ford starts to start trending up, because when it starts trending up and it starts to reverse, just like it's done before. So we can look at the 1-year analysis. It's had these sell-offs time after time. So it's had the sell-off, but then when it breaks above, let's say, like we said, $11, and it actively starts trading above, the EMA line, then we might get a much better understanding that, hey, not only did we get a really good deal for a multi-billion-dollar company, but we also, were able to identify when the reversal happened, when, this uptrend happened. And if we want our account to grow, then we want to make sure that the charts and the stock itself are showing the similar patterns. So again, that's the easiest way that I can put it. This is not a suggestion for you to trade any of these. This is just a simple, hey, you might want to add this one to your watch list and just follow up with it maybe when it starts to reverse. For those that see value in it, great. For those that don't, you simply don't have to trade it. So again, I'm not here to tell anyone where to buy or sell. I'm here to just talk about what it is that I've seen value in and what I'm looking at potentially investing in. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to answer a couple questions that for those that are joining in live. So okay, so Iron Entertainment is talking about XXII, looks great too. Let's check that one out. So I do remember trading XXII before. It was actually one of my largest percentage growth stocks I've ever invested in, but I had such a small dollar value. I had like $1,500 invested, so it wasn't really much. So obviously it had a huge sell-off, so that's good. Old support level being at around 250. I do want to let you guys know the last time that it had a sell-off, it did bounce at 250. It showed signs of an uptrend pattern. That's great and all, but again, the other time, after it started to pull back, it did break below 250 and bounced back at $2. So something to take into consideration. Again, it is selling off. It is not showing any signs of a reversal or that it's actively trending up. The previous resistance level was $3, and then when it broke above that, it started really breaking. So it's almost showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern. Do you see that? It continues to, the lows that it makes are higher lows, so, and the highs that I make are higher highs. So it's an ascending uptrend pattern. It's kind of all over the place. I think there's a lot of hype and manipulation that happens with XXII, so it's a high risk / high reward stock. So I'm going to set my alerts when this thing breaks above $3. I'm in no rush to get into this one, but I'm also going to set my alert when this thing breaks below 250 if it does, because I want to make sure that I'm alerted so I can follow up with it. And I do already have this one in my watch list, my general watch list, just because this one's not one that's actively trending up, so it wouldn't make sense on why I should have it in my main active uptrending watch list. Let's see. Great idea with the ETF video. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Bank of America and Verizon. Appreciate that. Hello, Ricky. What do you think about... I actually want to cover this one. So HMNY. So there's a very nice pattern that we saw with this. And this is it. So it doesn't have to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, then I do apologize. This is actually something that we covered in the Learn Plan Profit group. So when you have access to the course and they have access to the daily Q&A chat. And one of the questions was like, hey, it was actually Mark, if I'm not mistaken. Mark brought this one up. He was like, hey, look at HMNY showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern. From $5.31, it continues to, again, make, higher lows and then higher highs as well. So we identified the support, it bounced at the support, it started showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It's now trending above the EMA, and it has a support at around $9. So with that being said, we can see most likely where the resistance is going to be around $10 to maybe like $10.50 if this pattern continues. Again, it's never 100% sure. So what's the potential for profit in comparison to the potential for loss? So from $9 to, let's say, even on the low end, $10, which is the previous resistance that it had, offers about 10% potential, almost 11%. What's the potential for loss? Well, if you manage your risk anywhere from 1 to 2%, then you can have a 1 to 10 ratio or a 1 to 5 ratio, depending on how you break it down. So just wanted to thank you again for calling that one out, and I hope that my breakdown helps. So FNG. Alrighty, so it looks like this thing has very low volume. Yeah, very low volume. Okay, so just something to take into consideration. Okay, so I see why this one's being brought up. So this one showing signs of a downward pattern. Yeah, a previous support at around $21.50, maybe $22 if it actually bounces. I don't know anything about this one. This one's an advisor to New Tech ETF. Okay. Margin of profit. So oh, the pattern makes sense. So we have a support at around $21. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to end it with a closing statement. So let's do this. So this is very important that I think a lot of people don't understand. So this is definitely like a good potential call out. It's not showing any signs of an uptrend pattern. So, uh, I would not invest in it yet. So I would set my alerts when this thing breaks, if this thing breaks below 21.50, because it's most likely going to be making its way down to $21. And also set my alerts if this thing starts actively trending up. So maybe when it breaks above the EMA. So we can set our alerts here when it breaks above like 22.50, or realistically maybe even $22, just because it continues to make new lows and it's showing signs of a reversal. It might be a little bit too soon to tell, but definitely something to take into consideration. So thank you again for that call out. The thing that I did want to cover is we're talking about within TechBud Solutions, there's I want to say hundreds of stocks that are shared there every single day. So people always ask, hey, how do you find these stocks? All I would do is all these stocks that are being spoken about, and people would ask me to break them down. Even within our private Learn Plan Profit group, when someone asked me, hey Ricky, can you break this stock down? I take that. I'm here to assist people, right? So I take that as an advantage because so many stocks are being thrown at me every single day that I have to break them down. And the ones I am exposed to such a high number of stocks, and because I'm doing my due diligence and sharing my opinion and giving my own 2 cents on each in every single one of them, I'm exposed to a lot of potential opportunity. So because of all this, all this information that's being shared with me, I filter some of it out. I filter some to my general watch list. I filter some to my active uptrending watch list, and that's the stuff that I share with you guys. So one of the biggest recommendations that I can have for each and every single one of you is who cares who is investing in what, right? That shouldn't matter to you. You shouldn't care what I'm investing in. I don't care what you're. I don't. Right, it doesn't influence me or how I'm going to grow as an investor. All I want to make sure is we are our networking group. So if you truly understand that, and you see all this information that is being shared, they might just look like ticker symbols, but what I see it as is potential opportunity that can one day make me money. So you know if you're really trying to take trading to the next level, one of the things that I would really encourage you to do is, if your watch list is not the best watch list and you're really struggling to trade good quality stocks, start really breaking them down on your own. Learn how to identify patterns, learn how to have your own eye for value and certain criteria that you want each and every single stock to meet, not just criteria but patterns. So if you want a stock that's actively trending up on the 180-day chart above the EMA and that it has to offer 10% margins of profit, whatever the case may be, you can have a watch list for that. You can have a general watch list. Make sure that you're doing and dedicating time to doing your own due diligence. This doesn't mean that you have to, spend hours and hours every single day. I literally do this. I can do this like 10 to 15 minutes a day if I wanted to, or maybe 30 minutes to an hour one time a week. It depends because we all have different schedules. But if you're someone that's disciplined and you're someone that can inhibit that habit of taking all the stocks that everyone talks about, doing your own due diligence and not just trading based on other people's opinion, and then being structured and setting up your own watch list depending on how it is that they're trending, and if some of them are actively trending up, that you have a watch list for that and stuff like that, then you're going to become a lot more organized and your trades will as well, and we'll focus much more on quality stocks and less on stocks that just because people think that if I'm investing in something that they have to, what if I'm not here tomorrow? That's the whole thing that I want to make sure that we teach you guys is one of the things that I'm taking on like full-fledged within our course is I want to teach people to become independent, successful traders. So for them to have their own eye for value, I'm here to provide structure and overall support when it comes down to having that specific that discipline that I think a lot of people lack of, and I think my course does an excellent job covering that. We teach you how to scan for stocks. We teach you how to find stocks, how to build your own eye for value, and certain patterns that I look for that have led to my success. But we're all different traders. So one of the things that I have been working with one of the members within our group, it's this website and this application, and it's actually going to be available, if I'm not mistaken, this upcoming week, only for the people that are part of the Learn Plan Profit course. It's not even everyone in the Learn Plan Profit course is going to gain access to it, so I want to make sure that I disclose that. But we are going to select anywhere from around 200 to 300 people, if I'm not mistaken, that are active traders within the Learn Plan Profit group. So a majority of the people within Learn Plan Profit, because they paid to get into the course, are active already. So we're going to pick the top 200 to 300 active traders, and we want feedback on this website that we have one of our members working on. And it's one thing that, as our group is growing exponentially, right? We're approaching 80,000 members. We just broke 100,000 subscribers. I want to make sure that, as we continue to grow, the quality of information and structure is there. So we're creating this application to make sure that we provide that structure, that discipline, and holding you accountable for what it is that you are doing, and making sure that you're aware of what your goals are, how it is that you have to get there, and certain tips to get there along the way. So I'm going to be providing more details about that specific application and website for the people that are enrolled in the Learn, Plan, Profit course. So tomorrow for our live Q&A chat, I'm going to be speaking to each and every single one of you, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that this is something that we're working on. And for those that want to participate, please don't direct message me. If you can just tag me in the main chat for the Learn, Plan, Profit group, then that would be best. So thank you guys again so much for your time. I just wanted to remind you guys that it's not about trading the top trending stocks that everyone else is trading, because there's a lot of manipulation that happens with that. But with structure, with setting goals on a weekly basis on percentage growth, doing and dedicating time every single week to do your own due diligence, and then actually planning out your trades ahead of time. So before you actually take a position, knowing where you're buying, knowing where you're selling, and knowing where you're going to be cutting your losses has really assisted a large number of our members. And I hope that those that are watching can really benefit from that as well. So I think that is it. I'm going to see if there's anyone that has any more questions. Oh, we got Lito. You don't have to do that. You're always donating, so I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and end it here. There actually is a Google Home here, but it's not mine, so I can't say the OK Google and play the thing. But okay, so we have promo code, please. So I think they're asking for a promo code for the Learn, Plan, Profit group. Let's do this. So for the next, until the end of today, so for Sunday, so please do not message me if you did not tune in for the live stream, and by the end of today, if you do not use the coupon code for the course, it will not be available. So please don't message me. I always get bombarded by messages. So for those that want access to the Learn, Plan, Profit course and want to add as a discount for the next, what is that, 9 hours, let's go ahead and do promo code Sunday Stock Talk. So it's going to be SST, and that will give you a discount off of the Learn, Plan, Profit course. So for those that potentially want to invest in, I do want to let you guys know that if you do use, and it discloses this at checkout, but if you do use a promo code, you do not qualify for a refund. I want to make sure that I'm completely transparent with that. We've had a number of people that we only had a selected amount of coupons when we did like the $100 off, and we did 100 for $100 off. So we had to not give coupons for some people, and those that did use it, there was like 1 or 2 or 3 that asked for a refund. And again, I 100% understand. It's just, it's not fair for those that actually did want it. So for those that want the Learn, Plan, Profit course, I disclose everything that is included. It's the first link in the description. And I talk about, in over 6 hours of information. I get straight to the point. There's a series of like testimonials and videos on YouTube that you can watch to get a better understanding. So if you want to be a part of it, I think this would be a great time, especially kickstarting February on a good note. But if you can't, I 100% understand. Click that other link in the description where it says free group. We would love to even just have you within our free networking group. Like, I want to work with you as much as I can. I just want to make sure that we have specific kind of like sections for people that are in different levels of trading. So Luke Munoz says, for helping me make my first $500 for trading. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys 100% don't have to donate. Or donate, but I really do appreciate that. I hope that you guys have an amazing Super Bowl Sunday. Please be safe, and we will see you tomorrow 15 minutes before the market opens. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please feel free to do so if you haven't already. If you guys haven't clicked the thumbs up button, it lets me know that you guys like these videos, especially our Sunday Stock Talks. So we're just about to get there, about to get to that 30-minute mark. And yeah, so thank you guys again so much for your time. I'm going to put the link down below for that website that I use for the ETFs. I'm also going to again, the coupon code for those that continue to ask, it's Sunday Stock Talk, so it's SST. That will give you a discount off of the Learn Plan Profit course. So Ricky, all right, thank you, Angel. So I hope you guys all have an amazing week. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.